Hi, dear learners. This is Teacher Renette, and welcome back to our effective communication class. In this video, we're going to learn how to identify main messages, implied messages, and biases in public, civic, or culturally significant communication events. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to distinguish explicit and implicit meanings, identify framing strategies in communication, and recognize ideological positioning or bias in public texts. Before we begin our discussion, let's have 5 item pretest. You'll have 15 seconds to answer each question. Have your paper and pen ready. How was it? Are the questions easy or challenging? Either way, don't worry. This is just to activate your prior knowledge. Now let's start our lesson proper. Have you ever joined a fiesta or festival in your city or municipality? Maybe you watched colorful street dances, loud marching bands, beauty pageants, concerts, or grand parades. Everything feels exciting, joyful, and united. But here's an important question. Is everything you see during public events the complete story, or are there meanings hidden beneath the celebration? Because in communication, messages are not always direct. Some meanings are openly stated, some are only suggested, and some perspectives are highlighted while others are ignored. This is why communication scholars analyze not only what is said, but also how it is presented. Public communication events such as municipal fiestas, government announcements, health campaigns, cultural celebrations, and civic programs can all be studied using discourse analysis and semiotics. This means meaning is created not only through words, but also through images, symbols, tone, structure, staging, and representation. In this lesson, we'll analyze communication using 3 important layers: main message, implied message, and bias. Let's begin with the main message. The main message refers to the explicit or direct meaning of a communication, text, or event. This is also called denotative, meaning surface meaning, or proportional content. Simply put, it is the information directly communicated by the sender. Now, who is the sender? The sender is the person, group, institution, or organization that creates or delivers the message. In communication theory, the sender is also called the encoder because they encode ideas into words, symbols, or signs. For example, in speech, the sender is the speaker. In a Facebook post, who is the sender? The sender is the person who posted it. And in an LGU announcement, the sender may be the municipal government. Now, let's identify main messages. Technically, how do we identify main message? We have to examine the spoken, written, or multimodal text. We have to identify the direct purpose of the communication, focus on headlines, slogans, announcements, or directives, and ask, what is literally being communicated. For example, let's try to analyze this example. Let's have one communication situation. This is the example. The municipality invites all residents to participate in the annual fiesta celebration featuring cultural presentations, parades, and contests. What is the main message? The municipality is organizing a fiesta and inviting people to participate in cultural activities. That is the direct and explicit meaning. No hidden interpretation yet. Now, let's move to implied message. The implied message refers to meanings that are not directly stated but are understood through context, inference, cultural knowledge, symbols, visuals, and social expectations. This is also called implicit, meaning inferential, meaning implicit meaning, or inferential meaning, or connotative meaning. In communication, people often suggest ideas without directly saying them. How to identify implied meaning? We analyze images and symbols, examine tone and presentation, look at what ideas are suggested indirectly, and study contextual framing. Now, what is contextual framing? Contextual framing means understanding how the situation, relationship between people, and communication medium affect the meaning of a message. We ask what meanings are suggested even if they are not directly stated. For example, let's go back to the fiesta announcement. Even if the announcement only talks about celebration, the visuals may show smiling citizens, peaceful streets, disciplined crowds, and happy performers. So, what is implied? The municipality appears peaceful, united, organized, and culturally vibrant. But notice the announcement never directly says we are a perfect community. Yet the visuals and presentation suggest that image. This is how implied meaning works. Communication creates ideas beyond literal words. Now let us discuss bias. Bias refers to how information is selected, emphasized, framed, or omitted to support a certain perspective or viewpoint. Bias does not always mean lying. Sometimes bias happens because communicators choose which details to highlight and which details to minimize. How to identify bias? Here are simple ways to identify bias. Look at who is visible and who is invisible. Examine the words used. Are they positive or negative? Notice which perspectives are emphasized. You ask, whose voice is being highlighted? Whose experiences are missing? What realities are minimized? Let's go back to the example. Let's analyze the fiesta example again. The event may focus heavily on political leaders, sponsors, celebrities, and official performers, but maybe poor communities, laborers, street vendors, or informal settlers are rarely represented. So, what could be the possible bias here? The message gives more attention to government officials and celebration while giving less attention to social problems within the community. Again, this does not automatically mean the event is bad, but critical communication analysis helps us understand which realities are highlighted and which realities are hidden. Well, let's have another example. Example of a clean up drive. Let's read this. Residents are encouraged to participate in the municipal cleanup drive to promote environmental responsibility and community health. Let's analyze the three layers. What is the main message here? It is the municipal cleanup drive activity is being conducted to encourage cleanliness and public participation. That is the direct meaning. What is the implied message? What is suggested indirectly? Citizens are expected to become responsible for environmental cleanliness. The message promotes collective responsibility and discipline. Now, what do you think is the possible bias? Let's examine. The message focuses heavily on citizen responsibility, but it may give less attention to poor waste management systems, lack of garbage trucks, weak policy implementation, or limited government resources. So the possible bias is the message may place responsibility mainly on citizens while underrepresenting systematic environmental issues. All right, as learners, we should not become passive receivers of information. Instead, we must become critical thinkers, responsible interpreters, and critical discourse analysts, whether we are watching political advertisements, social media campaigns, news reports, public celebrations, or civic announcements. We should always ask what is directly stated, what is implied, what perspectives are emphasized or ignored, because communication is powerful. It affects beliefs, identities, social realities, and even public opinion. And that ends our discussion for today. Thank you for listening and happy learning.